Welcome back to the Late Night Show with Andrew Dick, and it's time for our studio guest. Guest in the studio is Mr. Ludson of the Telecommunications Union. How are you doing, sir?
Fine, thanks. I'm okay.
Well, thank you so much for coming to the show. Now, of course, before we go into what actually is pressing, tell us a little bit about the companies that the Telecommunication Unions is actually representing.
Well, actually now we have the Telem group of companies, and everybody knows Telem group of companies consists of Telem, Telcel, Integrated Telnet, and Smithcoms, and also the Post Office.
Okay. Now, recently the Post Office went on a week of strike action, and a lot of people are still confused as to why it happened. So that's why I said, let me have you on the show so that you can actually explain from where the problem started and how it ended up where it is, and until we fixed it.
Well, this problem started actually last year, the 8th of October 2010, where St. Martin sent a letter to NPNA, indicating to NPNA that St. Martin will be doing its own, will be holding its own concessi, and will be doing its own postal services. And from there, you know, it's where the discussions then start between St. Martin and NPNA. We as union, we get involved in late November of 2010, because we had a referendum the 10th of November of last year, 2010. We won the referendum, and from there is where SMCU pick up the situation and go from there forward until today. I don't know if you want me to continue to elaborate, or if you have any more questions.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's a long story.
No, but that's why I said let me bring you so that you could see it, you know?
Yeah, so from there, you know, when we got in, we sent a letter to Mr. Sluis in Curacao, indicating that the Semantic Communication Union is the one representing the employees now at the moment, and that we need to get involved in this transition of employees from one company to the next. And of course, it did not went easy between SMCU and NPNA at the beginning. Some information was not being shared correctly, and I don't want to go too much into this in that section, for we may not blame anyone, because right now we have a very peaceful situation. And after Mr. Sluis sent me all information, that was in December around the 18th, and from there is where everything went upside down. And in February of 2011, I went down Curacao and I had a talk with Mr. Sluis in connection with what is the plan of NPNA doing business on the island, or if NPNA could continue doing business with PSS until PSS is a more fruitful company to do its own postal services. You know, but those was discussion we had one-on-one, and then as we came back from Curacao, we had meetings with the director of PSS, which is Mr. Dionisio and Richardson. And then from there, you know, they indicated, no, St. Martin will do its own postal services. They don't need nobody else to do it for them. And then, so from there, we had the discussion of how we will transfer employees from one company to the next. So that dragged on until late August, late August, yes, until again we had this transfer protocol on the table. And that NPNA and SMCU had agreed with the contents of the transfer protocol. Yeah, and the reason why the union did that is because at that moment, NPNA and PSS had a little problem sitting on the table, so we was playing a kind of mediator in between them to assure that everything have a smooth transition. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but nevertheless, that causes a big problem on the island, because government felt that we put PSS in a position, and we don't have no obligation to put PSS in a position, where we indicated very clearly that the document will be signed is not putting PSS in no position. It's simply to get a departure point of how we're going to do the transition of employees to over to PSS. And that is how it dragged until October, which NPN indicate already prior that by the 10th of October 2011, they will stop doing business, postal services then, on the island. And so on Thursday, that was the 6th of October, we noticed that, hey, there's nothing going on. Nobody is reacting. Yeah, or whoever was reacting really silence.
Yeah.
So we decided then we need to go get some answers, and then that's how we walked it over to the government building, and there the 6th we had a meeting with Mr. De Weaver, who's the Minister of Labor, and then after the Prime Minister honored us to sit and talk with us and inform us about her involvement in the situation and what is all her plans and stuff like that. So from there we indicated then we will wait for the outcome of the 2 o'clock meeting that same Thursday, the 6th of October of this year, between the Prime Minister and NPNA.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but again, the talks wasn't so easy, and then we decided as union that we will get involved in the talks, and then that's how
The action really
the
started.
action really started.
Okay.
You know, because we wanted clarity of what will happen.
Now, can you lay down on the table what was the real bottleneck between the government of St. Martin and the postal services in Curacao? What was really the bottleneck as far as the workers are concerned? Did they want it? Is it true that they wanted to fire them from the postal services in St. Martin and transfer them as new employees, or was it true that the new postal services of St. Martin didn't want to hire the 38 workers? What was really the bottleneck where the employees were concerned?
Well, the first one is what we mostly think was the situation, where St. Martin, which is PSS, wanted NPNA to finalize contract, pay employees out, and then PSS will take them over from scratch, 0 year. But again, that would have caused a little problem for them.
Yeah.
With if the pension is concerned, then you would break the pension, and then you would have to start a new pension. Yeah, you would have maintained with APNA, which is a pension fund of Netherlands Antilles. The employee would have maintained with APNA, but one pension would have break, and then another one would have start. Of course, that would have a little ups and downs for the employee, and that is what we didn't want. Yeah, and again, what we as union was looking for is the continuation of building up years of workers. An employee worked for so many years, don't want to go and start over from scratch, because if you start over from scratch it's a day tomorrow, even though they maintain you in permanent. But let's say the company says, I have a financial situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I need to lay off. There you go, you're being laid off, and you have maybe 1 year working, because you're permanent, you have 1 year, 1.5 years working, which were the money you collected already by NPNA is gone, because you know we spend money well.
Yeah, yeah.
We're very well in spending money, very good at spending money. So that situation we was trying to avoid it.
Okay, and so now that everything is set, I mean, the National Alliance called a public meeting in Parliament. Did any information come out of that helped the situation, or did it make it a little longer? How did the union see that?
Well, how should I say? Parliamentarians did what they had to do. NA did what they had to do. Yeah, as members of Parliament. If it assists us in any negotiations, I would say no. Reason why, how we started to base our facts on was with our advisor, which is in Curacao, is Mr. Holloman, and our lawyer, who is Mrs. Hoffman. those is our advisors, and Mr. Hoffman, of course, is our lawyer. And what we was looking at is when Martin became country and government employees, they came over with everything.
Yeah.
There is an agreement between country Martin, country Curacao, Netherlands Antilles, if I'm not mistaken, and also Holland, made in September the 10th, 2010, that guaranteeing that all employees that work in government section coming over to country Martin or country Curacao will go over with all the rights and benefits.
So that was the basis.
That was our main base. Second base was SVB made a social plan with the union to make SVB SZV. The social plan of SVB mentioned that based on that document, they're honoring all the employees from SVB over to SZV with all their rights and benefits. SVB and post office falls in the same category.
Ah.
So
So,
it falls in the same category.
so the union had a strong case.
Yes, we did. Yeah, and in the document, all the way in the back, you find all the companies that the document is covering.
Oh, you do.
Yes, and New Post is one of them.
New Post is also one of them.
Yes.
So they wanted to actually break the agreement. I mean, break the document.
Well, I cannot sit here and tell you what
Yeah.
I wanted to do.
Yeah, yeah.
You understand? I could sit here and tell you what I read in the document. That one, yes, I could tell you.
Yeah. Okay. As far as the everything is concerned now, I mean, at the end of the day, the Prime Minister said during Parliament that the workers was the main reason why government didn't sign on before. Now, you can always argue that this could have been avoided a long time. I mean, with the union, you contacted, and I understand that everything is peaceful now, and I'm not trying to create anything, but this could have been avoided a long time because they know it was coming, the agreement was coming to an end, and something had to happen.
Yes.
And it happened for the worst because...
Yes, Mr. Dick, it could have been avoided. All we had to do, as I said, through the days of the closure of the post office, we had to do our homework.
Yeah.
And because homework wasn't done correctly, let me put it this way, because maybe there was homework done, but if it was done correctly, then I would say no, because if it was done correctly, we wouldn't have any problem. Now, yes, it could have been avoided. All we had to do what we did in the last week of talks and negotiation from morning until night, and then promise and more promises and no keeping up to our promises and stuff like that, could have been done last year, November, December.
Then
Beginning of the year.
Of this year, yeah.
Yeah, also in July, when NPNA indicated that after 3 months, no more business for NPNA where a connection of postal services is concerned on the island. So we had again 3 more months to work on this matter.
And they waited. And
I cannot say what they did behind scene because I'm not in government. I cannot talk for government, but I could only say what we as union are seeing and what we did and how we approach it. And of course, we had to look bad in government eyes for what we did, but nevertheless, our members were satisfied and happy with our decisions that we was making, and we don't make decisions without consulting
the
with
workers.
members.